Welcome everybody. Today we are going to learn about the structure of the tibia. Now tibia, it is a bone from the leg region of the hind leg, and I will show you the tibia. This is tibia. So it's a bone from the leg region and it is placed obliquely downward and backward. Proximally, it articulates with the distal extremity of the femur to form the stifle joint, and distally it articulates with the tarsal bones to form the hock joint. Now, this is tibia. So, tibia, it is a long type of bone. So, as the characteristic of long bone says that it should necessarily have got a body and two extremity. So, since it is a long bone, it has got a body and these two are the ends or the extremity or the epiphysis. Now, if you look at the body, you will see that it's somewhat prismatic in shape. Now, since it is prismatic in shape, it has got three surfaces and three borders. So, which are these surfaces and which are these borders? So, surfaces I will show. This is one, this is second surface, this is third surface. Regarding borders, one border, second border, and third border. Means I have shown you only the three borders and three surfaces in the body, but we have not so far named it. And in order to name these surfaces and border, there are certain principles how to hold the tibia. So when you look at the tibia, you will see that at one of the end, tibia, the end is broad and the other end is somewhat narrow. So that broad end should be kept up. So I can hold it like this, like this, like this, as per this principle. Then after holding it upside, the broad end, then look at the surfaces. This surface is convex, this is somewhat concave, and there is one surface wherein you will see that it has got many lines over it. These are the different lines. So, while holding, as per first principle, keep the broad end up and this line surface should be held near to you. Now this is correct position. And when I am holding it this way, this is my cranial, this is my caudal. On that basis, I can name at least cranial and caudal. But when you look at the cranial, there is only a border, but there is no surface. When you look at the surface, this is having a line, so this is caudal surface. It means I have named one of the surface of the tibia. Now there are two more surfaces, one from this side, one from this side. In order to name these surfaces, look at this surface, this is concave and this is convex. So convex surface is on the medial side, whereas the concave surface is the lateral surface. It means I have now named all the three surfaces, the caudal, the medial and the lateral. Now regarding borders, again hold it properly with its broad end up and the surface with lines near to you. So this border can be named as the cranial border. This border is named as medial border, and this border which is concave, this is lateral border. It means body has got three surfaces and three borders. So we have named these surfaces. So since there is no cranial surface, first we'll start with the caudal surface. So this caudal surface, you will see that it is characterized by presence of many lines over it. And these lines are termed as linea muscularis, and the function of these lines is that it gives attachment to the flexor muscles. Now on this surface, on the caudal surface, proximally on its medial aspect, there is line which makes this triangular area visible here. This triangular area gives attachment to the popliteus muscle. Means caudal surface has got many lines which are called as linea muscularis. It gives attachment to the flexor muscle, and proximally on the medial aspect it presents a triangular area for the attachment of popliteus muscle. The second surface now, this is medial surface because it is convex. Look at this, it is somewhat smooth, slightly it is rough also, and it is convex, and it gives attachment to three muscles. These three muscles needs to be remembered properly. These muscles, they are, first is the gracilis, then sartorius and semimembranosus. So medial surface is convex, smooth, slightly rough, and gives attachment to three muscles, that is gracilis, sartorius and semimembranosus. The third surface is this. This surface we have named it as the lateral surface. This lateral surface is concave, and it gives attachment to two muscles, and these two muscles, they are the complex muscle and the anterior tibial muscle. These two muscles are attached on this surface. Now regarding borders, this is the cranial border. So cranial border is prominent only in its proximal part. Distally you won't be able to actually see the cranial border because it is prominent only in its proximal part, and it constitutes the anterior tibial crest. So this is anterior tibial crest. Then the medial border is slightly convex, whereas the lateral border is concave. So that completes our body part. Now we'll see the extremities. This extremity is the proximal extremity. So proximal extremity of tibia is characterized by presence of three tuberosities. 1, 2 and 3 tuberosities are there. Now out of these three tuberosities, 2 tuberosities are articular because only these 2 tuberosities they articulate with the condyles of the femur. Whereas one of the tuberosity is such, it is this, that is cranial tuberosity, it is non-articular. So cranial tuberosity is non-articular, whereas this is medial tuberosity, this is lateral tuberosity. Both these tuberosities are articular and they are surmounted by smooth, saddle-shaped articular areas which converge medially. Here also it's converging on this side, means it is converging medially and ends into a spine-like structure. These spines are called as tibial spine. Now look at the level of the spine. The spine of the medial side is placed higher in level than that of the lateral. And these two articular areas which are saddle shaped, they articulate with the distal extremity of the femur where there are condyles. Now in between the cranial tuberosity and the lateral tuberosity, here you will see that there is one elongated concavity. Elongated concavity means groove. Groove is also called as sulcus. So this is named as sulcus muscularis. So this is all about the proximal extremity. Now the distal extremity. Look at the distal extremity. What do you see here? There are two articular facets. These two articular facets are separated from each other by a ridge-like structure. This is the ridge. Now here in this facet is the medial facet and this facet is lateral facet. So this medial facet is completed by this projected structure which is fused with the tibia, and this structure is called as the medial malleolus. It is fused in case of ox. Now if you look at the lateral facet, besides lateral facet there is a small facet here. This small facet is for articulation with the lateral malleolus, and lateral malleolus in case of ox is free, it is not fused with the tibia. So this is all about the tibia. Thank you.